Oracle e-business suite architecture, data model. In this section, we will see how Oracle stores the data within the Oracle database. Now, before we look at the specific details of how data is stored, let's look at a typical organization structure. Now, if you look at any large organization, a typical company would have multiple divisions within its within its umbrella. Now, each division would have its own profit center, and within each profit center, they would have different departments maintaining and recording the transactions on a day-to-day basis. Now, even though most of these sub-entities all belong to the same organization, by the fact that they are in different areas or different divisions, they tend to maintain data partition and secure the data such a way that one region cannot view the data within the next region. Now, similarly, an organization that is a multinational company would have operations spread across multiple countries. So it might have US operations and can have a UK operations or Asia operations. Now we'll see how having different operations within in each different country affects how the data is stored and how employee data is represented within the Oracle e-business suite. Now, Oracle enables the representation of an organization or of a company with multiple organizations through a multi-org architecture. So it supports defining multiple organizations within a single installation. And this feature is enabled by enabling the multi-org feature in Oracle e-business suite. The multiple organization support uses native database features to build a security layer on top of a single installation of Oracle apps. So a client or a customer who is implementing Oracle e-business suite and which has multiple organizations does not have to implement Oracle applications multiple times for each of the organization. In fact, rather than that, they would just implement Oracle applications once, but on a single instance, but would implement these multiple organizations using the multi-org feature. Now, the inbuilt security provides the necessary data partitioning and while minimizing the number of potentially destabilizing changes to the application code. The security layer is provided using database views, which allow access to the partition data without any changes to the application code. So at the end of the day, it's the same application code that is being executed, but it gets executed on either the organization 1 set of data or on the organization 2 set of data, which is partitioned through the Oracle views. Now let's look at how before we look at the definitions, actually this particular slide kind of just covers the definitions that are specific to like within the Oracle terminology. Now, if you take any organization that is implementing an accounting software or has implemented an accounting software, one of the things that it maintains is a ledger. And in Oracle, up until 11.5.10, this was called set of books. And starting with release 12, they have renamed it as ledger. Now, within Oracle, the 3 C's make a ledger. And now if you want to find out what a ledger is, you can, there is some reference information in the wikipedia.org. If you Google either general ledger or if you Google double entry bookkeeping and look at the Wikipedia or it gives it has a good definition and description of what these are. Now going back within Oracle, the 3 C's define the set of books, and the 3 C's are the chart of accounts, calendar, and currency. Now, chart of accounts is nothing but the list of accounts that are used by an organization. Now, if you think of an organization, obviously it would be dealing with, it would involve paying vendors for the purchases that it have made, or reconciling or collecting monies from the customers for the products or services it has provided, and at the same time paying salaries and expenses to its employees, or the expenses that is incurred in the process of its sales. Now, an organization would typically be dealing with hundreds or thousands of accounts, and it is next to impossible to maintain all of them in an alphabetic way, kind of giving a name to it. So most of the organizations, they resort to grouping the accounts based on their function, and they typically associate a group of a range of account numbers to those accounts, and that kind of defines the chart for that particular organization. And calendar is the physical calendar which represents the tax year for that particular organization. Now, if you take an example of an individual, the calendar for the individual is the calendar year, which starts on January 1st and ends on December 31st. Now, the organizations, depending on the organization structure, their calendar or their fiscal year will be same as the calendar year, which is January 1st through December 31st. But most of the organizations, their fiscal year does not match the calendar year. They might be going from October of the year to the September of the year, or going from July of the year to the June of the next year. And currency is the currency in which that organization conducts its business in, or primarily that's what it generates its income or incurs its expenses. Now, if any one of these three is different, then it would result in a different set of books or a different ledger within that installation. Now, business group is the highest level in the organization structure. It primarily secures the human resources information. Now, for example, when you request a list of employees, you see all the employees assigned to the business group of which the organization is part of. Now, legal entity or balancing entity, it represents an accounting entity for which you prepare financial statements. This is a segment in the accounting structure at which all the accounting entries must balance. And finally, the operating unit and the inventory organization. So these organizations track inventory transactions and balances, or an organization that manufactures or distributes products. So examples primarily include a manufacturing plant or a warehouse, distribution center, or a sales office. So with these definitions, now let's see how the multi-org architecture would look like. In the previous slide, we had the same slide, but now we have at each level we have identified whether it's a set of books or whether it's a legal entity, and so on and so forth. Now, taking this logical representation, and if we take down to the database, let's see how it is represented in the database. Now, we will look at the data model and how the tables are structured, and how the views are defined on top of the tables to partition the data in the next segment.